Hello Namibia, and welcome to your daily lunchtime show where we get to catch up on current events and headlines that are in the news. My name is Priska Agnolo and I'm your host for today for NMH at 1. So let us have a look at the incoming news this morning. The Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture hosted a workshop today regarding the copyright law review process. Namibia was selected as an implementation country for the global EU/UNESCO initiative supporting new regulatory frameworks to strengthen the cultural and creative industries and to promote South-South cooperation. In the Namibian context, the project specifically aims to design a measure to support local content production and, in partnership with BIPA, to support the revision of the copyright legislation, taking into account the digital environment. And now we move on to our COVID-19 news for today. According to the latest official data, Namibia by Sunday had 2,262 active cases of COVID-19. The national recovery rate stood at 93.1% and has receded due to an increase in new cases. The overall daily average for new cases has, however, started to show a downward trend again. Oshikoto remains the region with the most active cases, numbering close to 500, while Kavango East has 373 active cases and the Zambezi region 241. The Rundu district has now reported more than 1,000 cases since the start of the pandemic. The Oshakati district is currently reporting fewer new cases but still has 190 active cases. The recovery rate over the last week improved the most in the Omusati region, where 91% of cases now have been given a clean bill of health compared to less than 80% of the previous Monday. Tomorrow, our monitor will update you on cases amongst health workers. Next up is the video inserts we have for you today. In our first video, an isolation facility which was being constructed next to the state hospital in Ochuarongo is nearing completion. The facility has been constructed for isolating COVID-19 patients in the town and will soon be operational. Esther Kamati was there. And now for our second video. The Ramblers women's team participated in a soccer camp this past weekend where they went back to the basics of football. Coach Hafeni Ndetunga gave a short review of the camp. Claudia Reiter was there.
Hey, look, I want it. There, can you see that?
Yeah.
All right?
Please,
You must catch it this side, catch it that side there.
Yeah, the camp went well. The camp went good. We had around about 14 girls at the camp, and we really worked on the fundamentals of football, working on the basics and, getting everybody back into shape. Our goal is just to play, total football. And by that, we need to try and maximize the time by working on our basics, on the fundamentals and everything that we need to work on to become good footballers. We're a performance-based team. So that means this camp was needed for us to actually just work on, the little mistakes we do in the games, that we made during the Super Cup. And now we can prepare properly for the Super League. So we are looking forward to the opportunity to play in the Super League. And when that opportunity comes, I hope we can be ready. This is going to be the first of probably 4 camps throughout the year. And yeah, the girls really enjoyed it, and yeah, we're looking forward to many more of these camps and these exercises. Yeah.
And now we delve into the front pages of our Namibian newspapers. The Algemene Zeitung is leading with an article about the 5,000-hectare agricultural project at the Neckartal Dam. According to the Minister of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform, Carla Schletwein, the necessary funds are lacking in order to give the go-ahead for the second phase of the project. The Namibian Sun has a lead on the Namibian Financial Institutions Supervisory Authority, which is bonded to a 5-year contract worth nearly 100 million Namibian dollars in rental fees. Namfisa secured land in Windhoek already, where it plans to build its own office building, but has yet to secure funding for this project. The Republican is leading with an article about the low levels of the Kunene River, which affect the production capacity of the Ruacana hydroelectric power station. Normally, the hydroelectric power station is able to cover around 35 to 40% of Namibia's electricity demand, but due to the lower amount of electricity that is generated by it at the moment, we have to import more electricity. The Namibian is reporting on the former Minister of Justice, Pendukeni Vulaitana, speaking out about her relationship with fish-shot accused Saki Shangala, which according to her broke down in 2012 when she was competing for SWAPO's vice presidency and a campaign was launched against her. The New Era is leading with a story about the persisting droughts in many parts of the Kunene region. Despite the rest of Namibia receiving good rainfall this year, the affected areas didn't receive a lot of rain and the residents are confronted with dried up crops and the loss of livestock. And now we move on to the inside pages of our country's newspapers. On its page 3, the Algemene Zeitung leads with a story about the recent visit of Botswana's President Mokgweetsi Masisi to Namibia, during which he and President Hage Geingob reportedly held talks with an as-yet unknown investor who wants to build a new desalination plant, which could also supply water to Botswana. On page 3, the Namibian Sun is reporting on the cost of paying Namibians which worked at the controversial Lodima Center in Congo, but who have mostly returned back to Namibia by 2017. According to the Higher Education Ministry's Executive Director, Dr. Alfred van Kent, no further details about the ongoing salary payments can be disclosed, only the fact that many of the former workers have been absorbed by various ministries. The Republican on its page 3 is featuring an article about a foreigner who is married to a Namibian citizen and who wanted to be granted legal residency status after he has lived and worked in Namibia for 10 years with his husband. A Windhoek High Court judge on Friday dismissed the application. On page 3 of the Namibian, we can read about a father being found guilty of killing his 10-month-old son, who was sentenced to an effective prison term of 37 years. The court described the act as brutal, cruel, and calculated. New Era on its page 3 reports on the Commerce Police Commander Joseph Shikongo, who has voiced concerns about the residents of Dordrecht who are withdrawing cases from the law enforcement and the courts. He warned that perpetrators might commit similar offenses if only kept in police custody for a short period of time. In all 3 NMH publications, you'll also find today's Market Watch and The Zone. The Market Watch leads with an article about the new Director General of the World Trade Organization, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and the challenges that lie ahead of her in connection with her new appointment. Today's The Zone reports about Thrive Vino Mandero, a UNAM student that is also an activist and a feminist writer. And now for our interview segment. Namibia Media Holdings Marisol Stoffberg chats to Sharnay Botha about the educational booklets that My Zone and NMH is in the process of distributing countrywide.
Hi everyone and welcome back. My name is Marisol Stoffberg and today I'm very excited to be joined in studio by the beautiful Sharnay Botha. Sharnay, thank you so much for joining us and for taking time out of your schedule to share some insights.
Yes, I'm excited to be with you guys here today.
So the focus for today is the educational booklet project that Namibia Media Holdings is currently enrolling. Can you maybe tell us a bit more about the project and especially for those who are not familiar with the project?
Yes, so we're very excited about this year's project. So it's basically just a continuation of last year's project. What we did in the COVID-19 pandemic is to roll out educational booklets from pre-primary up until grade 7.
Yes.
So this year we wanted to continue with that project because we realized there was a really big need for quality content for children. So our focus is for pre-primary up until grade 3 for this year.
Can you tell us a bit more about the booklets in terms of how many booklets do we print, weekly or daily, and also the content within each booklet?
Yes, so for each grade, for the 4 grades, pre-primary up until grade 3, we print daily 110,000 around there. So it's around 440,000 booklets per week that we print for the different grades. And then in each book, so one book will consist of 2 weeks worth of content.
Oh, wonderful.
So because we realize children are, because of how schools have to be structured, they are either a day at school, day off, or a week at school, week off. So they need content at home. So that's because we have now we have the booklets. So the 1 week they can do at school and the other week or both weeks they can do at home. Yes.
And there's also an online school running in conjunction with the booklets. Can you tell us a bit more about the online school and also the exceptional teacher that you have working with the online school?
So My Zone online school has their very own teacher, Teacher Mutsa. She's a star. She's incredible. So she will be teaching each lesson that's in the book. She will teach daily. There will be different lessons for each grade available. And she'll be teaching everything and taking the children step by step through each activity, helping them through it. So yes, it's very, very exciting.
And then Namibia Media Holdings also has the Active Kids program, which is aimed at kids from pre-primary up until grade 3. So this kind of fits in perfectly then with the project and the online school. So in what way will these 3 be working together?
Yes, so like you said, our Active Kids program is aimed for this age group. So we really wanted to include the educational lessons in our Active Kids program. So basically what will happen is we're going to have a fun session before. We're going to do some activities read stories, speak to Zoshi and Zoe, and the whole theme and the whole focus of that Active Kids program will be based on the lessons that we would learn and the themes we're going to learn about in our educational booklets. So after they did the exercises and had fun, then they can continue with their online lessons
and sit down for school
and sit down and do some educational work. Yes.
Can you tell me a bit more about the languages? Because I also know that for initially it's just going to be Afrikaans and English, but we're working towards other translations as well.
So for this week, our first book for today was rolled out. Our first grade 3 book is today. So that's only going to be available English, and then tomorrow grade 2 is going to come out in English, and then Wednesday is grade 1 in Afrikaans and English, and pre-primary on Thursday for Afrikaans and English. Okay. So we are busy translating these books into various languages, and that's going to be available for everyone next week.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
What are some of the languages that we're translating into?
Yeah, so we are currently translating, well, it's English, Afrikaans, and then German, Oshikwanyama, Ochireru, Oshindonga, Rukwangali, Khoikhoi and Solodzi, and we are looking at if there's any need for any other languages. Yes.
And tell me, if I want to look at these lessons or I want to get these booklets, where can I find them? And also, if I'm a teacher or a centrum or a center or anyone who would like to get these booklets delivered to them, what's the process that I should follow?
Yes, so we're trying to make it as easy and accessible as possible for everyone to receive the booklets. So we have our Zoshi online websites that people can download the booklets and the lessons from. Then we have various Telegram channels, including the Zoshi and the Active Kids Telegram channel, that daily updates will be sent on there. And then our Facebook pages for Zoshi and Active Kids. Daily updates will also be posted on there.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yes, and then if any school center that needs the booklets delivered, we have a WhatsApp line and a call line available. It will be on the screen that they can contact, just saying how many booklets they need, in which language they need it, as well as the address it can be delivered to.
Shanae, I think it's amazing to see what this project will become and also what it has become since last year and the impact it's had. Yes. In your view, just to end off, what do you think is the importance of this project for our learners but also our education system?
Yes, I think it's very important for our learners to receive quality education, no matter what their circumstances are or where they are located. And this project, it allows the opportunity for every child to get a booklet that's complete with fun, educational, quality activities that they not necessarily ever had in a booklet form. So now these booklets can be delivered countrywide for every child. So I think that's very important, and we're trying to standardize it across the entire curriculum for the whole year, because we're going to be it's going to be for the entire year, so it's 36 weeks in total, which is going to be available in 18 books for the year. So it's really for the entire curriculum for the specific grades. We want to roll out quality, educational, standardized content.
Yeah, and I think it's important to also mention that this is done in conjunction with the Ministry of Education, but also teachers who provide content. So it's not just thinking out some content, but actually working with teachers who work with kids on a daily basis, so they know what the content is like and what content needs to be given to the kids.
So we're very grateful for the Ministry of Education that we are working in collaboration with. They provided teachers, senior education officers that provides us with content, quality content that checks every booklet, quality assures every single booklet, cross-checks it with the curriculum to ensure we are following the curriculum. Then they also provided us with teachers that's translating every book and that's presenting our online school. So yes, we are very grateful for them for working with us in this project.
Thank you so much, Shanae, for your time and for everything you do for the project. And I'm sure that the schools and the learners and the community is truly grateful for this effort done by Namibia Media Holdings.
Yes, thank you, Maricel.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've finally reached the end of our show. Thank you so much for joining us on NMH at 1. I've been your host, Priska Agnolo, and I wish you nothing but a lovely day ahead. And also, don't forget to stay tuned for a quick snapshot of the weather as well.